The Cold War was a time of great tension and mistrust between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both superpowers engaged in a global struggle for dominance, employing espionage as a crucial tool. Traditional espionage involved covert operations, infiltrating enemy lines and gathering intelligence. However, the shadowy world of espionage also witnessed the emergence of unconventional methods. Among these was the exploration of psychic phenomena for intelligence gathering, giving rise to programs like Project Sunstreak. Project Sunstreak, shrouded in secrecy, aimed to harness the purported abilities of individuals with remote viewing capabilities. These individuals, often referred to as remote viewers, claimed to be able to perceive and describe distant locations, people, and events without relying on conventional senses. The project's objective was to utilize these abilities to gain insights into Soviet activities, military installations, and other sensitive information that remained inaccessible through traditional espionage methods. The rationale behind Project Sunstreak stemmed from the belief that psychic abilities, if real, could provide a significant advantage in the intelligence game. The potential to gather information remotely without physically infiltrating enemy territory held immense appeal. The project represented a gamble, a foray into the unknown, driven by the high stakes of the Cold War. While the existence of psychic phenomena remains a subject of debate, the story of Project Sunstreak offers a fascinating glimpse into the world of Cold War espionage and the unconventional methods employed by both superpowers in their quest for an advantage. It highlights the lengths to which governments were willing to go in their pursuit of intelligence and the allure of the unknown in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges.
Project Sunstreak, initiated in the early 1970s, marked the United States government's foray into the realm of psychic espionage. The program emerged from a growing fascination within intelligence circles with parapsychology and the potential applications of psychic phenomena. This interest was spurred by reports of Soviet research into psychic abilities, raising concerns that the Soviets might gain an edge in espionage. The origins of Project Sunstreak can be traced back to earlier, smaller-scale experiments conducted by the Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, and other intelligence agencies. These experiments explored the potential of psychic abilities for remote viewing, telepathy, and other phenomena that defied conventional scientific understanding. The CIA in particular had been conducting clandestine experiments into mind control and psychic phenomena under the umbrella of Project MKUltra, a controversial program that ran for 2 decades. While MKUltra primarily focused on mind control and manipulation, some aspects of the project delved into psychic phenomena, laying the groundwork for Project Sunstreak. The success of some early experiments, or at least the perceived potential, convinced some high-ranking officials to invest further in psychic espionage. Project Sunstreak, however, marked a more focused and dedicated effort to harness remote viewing capabilities for intelligence gathering. It aimed to formalize the training of remote viewers, develop standardized protocols for conducting remote viewing sessions, and assess the operational viability of psychic espionage in a systematic manner.
Project Sunstreak was not an isolated endeavor, but rather a part of a larger, more comprehensive program known as the Stargate Project. The Stargate Project, initiated by the U.S. government in the 1970s, encompassed various research and operational programs focused on exploring and utilizing psychic phenomena for intelligence purposes. While Project Sunstreak specifically focused on remote viewing, the Stargate Project cast a wider net, encompassing other psychic abilities such as clairvoyance, precognition, and psychokinesis. The overarching goal was to assess the potential of these abilities and develop them into operational tools for intelligence gathering and national security. Within the Stargate Project, different programs emerged, each with its own specific focus and objectives. Project Grill Flame, for instance, was another significant program under the Stargate umbrella that ran concurrently with Project Sunstreak. While both programs involved remote viewing, Project Grill Flame placed a greater emphasis on military intelligence gathering, targeting Soviet military installations, troop movements, and other militarily significant targets. The relationship between Project Sunstreak and other Stargate programs was one of collaboration and information sharing. researchers and remote viewers often worked across different programs, sharing their findings and insights to advance the overall understanding and application of psychic phenomena. The programs benefited from each other's experiences, successes, and failures, contributing to the evolution of psychic espionage within the U.S. intelligence community. The decision to create multiple programs under the Stargate umbrella likely stemmed from the desire to explore different aspects of psychic phenomena concurrently, maximizing the chances of success in a field fraught with uncertainty and skepticism. By pursuing multiple lines of inquiry, the Stargate project aimed to gain a comprehensive understanding of psychic abilities and their potential applications for intelligence gathering.
Project Sunstreak followed a structured approach to remote viewing, employing specific methodologies and protocols designed to elicit accurate and reliable information from its remote viewers. The project recognized the subjective and elusive nature of psychic phenomena, and its protocols aimed to minimize bias, suggestion, and other factors that could influence the results. One of the key elements of the remote viewing protocol was the use of target coordinates. These coordinates, often in the form of geographic coordinates, a photograph, or a brief description, served as the focal point for the remote viewer's attention. The idea was to provide a specific target for the viewer to focus on, reducing the potential for ambiguity and extraneous information. During a typical remote viewing session, the viewer would be placed in a relaxed and isolated environment, free from distractions. A trained monitor, usually someone familiar with the remote viewing process but unaware of the target, would guide the session. The monitor would present the target coordinates to the viewer and encourage them to describe their impressions, feelings, and any images or thoughts that came to mind. The remote viewer's descriptions were often abstract and symbolic, requiring interpretation and analysis. Viewers might describe shapes, colors, textures, emotions, or even seemingly unrelated concepts that they believed were connected to the target. The monitor's role was to record these descriptions verbatim without interpretation or leading questions, ensuring that the viewer's impressions remained uncontaminated.
Section 5. Recruiting and Training the Human Instruments. The success of Project Sunstreak hinged on the unique abilities of its remote viewers. Recruiting individuals with the purported ability to see distant locations and events was a challenging and often unorthodox process. Potential candidates came from various backgrounds, some with prior experience in psychic practices, and others who discovered their abilities unexpectedly. The selection process involved a battery of tests and evaluations designed to assess a candidate's remote viewing potential. These tests often involved asking individuals to describe hidden objects, remote locations, or events unknown to them. The accuracy and consistency of their descriptions played a crucial role in determining their suitability for the program. Once selected, remote viewers underwent rigorous training to hone their abilities and familiarize themselves with the protocols of Project Sunstreak. The training aimed to enhance their focus, concentration, and ability to articulate their impressions clearly and objectively. Viewers were also trained to distinguish between their own thoughts and imagination and the genuine impressions they received during remote viewing sessions. The training often involved a gradual progression from simple to more complex targets. Viewers might start by describing objects hidden in sealed envelopes before moving on to remote locations and eventually to real-world intelligence targets. The training was an ongoing process, with viewers receiving feedback and guidance from experienced monitors to refine their skills and improve their accuracy. The selection and training of remote viewers were crucial aspects of Project Sunstreak, as the program's success depended entirely on the reliability and accuracy of its human instruments. While the scientific basis for remote viewing remained uncertain, the program invested significant resources in identifying and training individuals who demonstrated the potential to gather information through unconventional means.
Section 6. Operational Assignments, Peering Beyond the Iron Curtain. Project Sunstreak, operating under a veil of secrecy, undertook a wide range of operational assignments during its existence. These assignments primarily focused on gathering intelligence on Soviet activities, military installations, and other high-priority targets that were difficult or impossible to penetrate through traditional espionage methods. One of the key areas of focus for Project Sunstreak was the Soviet Union's nuclear weapons program. Remote viewers were tasked with remotely viewing Soviet nuclear facilities, attempting to discern the types of weapons being developed, their stage of development, and their potential deployment locations. This information was deemed crucial for U.S. intelligence agencies to assess the Soviet threat accurately. Beyond nuclear weapons, Project Sunstreak also targeted Soviet military movements, troop deployments, and potential flashpoints around the globe. The program aimed to provide early warning of any aggressive actions by the Soviets, giving the U.S. a strategic advantage in responding to potential threats. The operational assignments of Project Sunstreak were not limited to the Soviet Union. Remote viewers were also deployed to gather information on other countries and regions of interest to U.S. intelligence agencies. These included countries suspected of developing weapons of mass destruction, regions experiencing political instability, and areas where U.S. interests were at stake. The selection of targets for Project Sunstreak was often driven by intelligence requirements, with requests coming from various government agencies seeking information that was otherwise unattainable. The program served as a last resort, a tool to be employed when traditional espionage methods had been exhausted or deemed too risky.
Section 7. Deciphering the data analysis and interpretation. The data gathered during Project Sunstreak's remote viewing sessions presented a unique challenge: interpretation. Unlike traditional intelligence reports, which often contained concrete facts and figures, remote viewing sessions produced a stream of consciousness from the viewers, a mix of visual imagery, feelings, impressions, and seemingly unrelated concepts. Analysts played a crucial role in deciphering this raw data, attempting to separate the wheat from the chaff and extract meaningful intelligence. They looked for patterns, recurring themes, and any information that could be corroborated with existing intelligence or used to generate new leads. The analysis of remote viewing data was as much an art as it was a science. Analysts had to be skilled in interpreting abstract information, recognizing subtle connections, and filtering out the noise inherent in subjective experiences. They relied on their knowledge of the target, their understanding of the remote viewer's abilities, and their intuition to piece together the puzzle. One of the challenges faced by analysts was the potential for confirmation bias. Knowing the target and the intelligence requirements could unconsciously influence their interpretation of the data, leading them to see what they expected to see. To mitigate this, Project Sunstreak employed blind analysis techniques where analysts were kept unaware of the target's identity during the initial stages of interpretation. Another challenge was the subjective nature of the data itself. Different viewers might provide vastly different descriptions of the same target, and even the same viewer might produce varying impressions in different sessions. This variability made it difficult to determine the reliability and accuracy of the information.
Section 8. Scientific Scrutiny, Skepticism, and Validation Project. Sunstreak, from its inception, faced intense scrutiny from the scientific community. The very notion of remote viewing, a phenomenon that defied the known laws of physics and had no scientifically plausible mechanism, was met with skepticism and even ridicule by many scientists. Critics argued that remote viewing lacked any empirical evidence, and the anecdotal accounts offered by proponents were not sufficient to establish its validity. They pointed to the lack of a testable hypothesis, the difficulty in replicating results, and the potential for fraud or self-deception as reasons to dismiss remote viewing as pseudoscience. Despite the skepticism, Project Sunstreak did undergo several attempts at scientific validation. Researchers, both within the program and independently, conducted experiments designed to test the abilities of remote viewers under controlled conditions. These experiments often involved asking viewers to describe remote targets that were unknown to them, with varying degrees of success. Some experiments, particularly those conducted by proponents of remote viewing, claimed to show statistically significant results, suggesting that viewers were able to gather information about remote targets at a rate higher than chance. However, these findings were often disputed by critics who questioned the methodologies employed, the statistical analyses, and the potential for bias in the experiments.
Section 9. Effectiveness and impact of Project Sunstreak. Assessing the effectiveness and impact of Project Sunstreak is a complex and contentious issue. Proponents of the program point to anecdotal accounts of successful intelligence gathering, claiming that remote viewing provided valuable insights into Soviet activities and other intelligence targets. They argue that the program played a role in shaping U.S. foreign policy and national security decisions during the Cold War. Critics, however, remain unconvinced, arguing that there is no concrete evidence to support these claims. They point to the classified nature of the program, which makes it difficult to independently verify the accuracy of any alleged successes. They also argue that the subjective nature of remote viewing data and the potential for confirmation bias make it impossible to determine whether any successes were due to genuine psychic abilities or simply lucky guesses. One of the most cited examples of Project Sunstreak's alleged success is the case of a remote viewer who reportedly provided accurate information about a Soviet submarine under construction. The viewer's description of the submarine's design and capabilities supposedly matched classified intelligence gathered through traditional espionage methods. While this case and others like it are often touted as evidence of remote viewing's efficacy, critics argue that these anecdotes are cherry-picked and that there are likely many more instances where remote viewers provided inaccurate or misleading information. They also point out that even if some information gathered through remote viewing proved accurate, it is impossible to determine whether it was truly obtained through psychic means or through other channels, such as subconscious cues or prior knowledge.
Section 10, the end of an era, Project Sunstreak's closure. In the late 1990s, after over 2 decades of research and operational activity, the Stargate project, including Project Sunstreak, was officially terminated. The decision to shut down the program came after a comprehensive review by the CIA and other government agencies, which concluded that remote viewing had not yielded any actionable intelligence that could not have been obtained through other means. The review, conducted by the American Institutes for Research, AIR, acknowledged that some statistically significant results had been observed in remote viewing experiments. However, the review also highlighted methodological flaws in these experiments and concluded that the results were not consistent or reliable enough to warrant continued funding. Several factors contributed to the decision to terminate Project Sunstreak. One factor was the changing geopolitical landscape following the end of the Cold War. With the Soviet Union dissolved, the primary target of Project Sunstreak's intelligence gathering efforts no longer existed, diminishing the program's perceived relevance. Another factor was the persistent skepticism from the scientific community and the lack of a scientifically plausible mechanism to explain remote viewing. Despite years of research, the program was unable to provide a convincing explanation for how remote viewing supposedly worked, further eroding its credibility within the intelligence community. Finally, the program faced increasing scrutiny from Congress and the public, who questioned the ethical implications of psychic espionage and the allocation of taxpayer funds to a program that many considered to be pseudo-scientific. The combination of these factors ultimately led to the demise of Project Sunstreak and the larger Stargate project.
Section 11. Project Sunstreak's legacy and influence. Despite its termination, Project Sunstreak left behind a complex legacy that continues to intrigue and inspire debate. The program's foray into the realm of psychic espionage, though ultimately deemed unsuccessful in terms of actionable intelligence, sparked public imagination and fueled interest in parapsychology. Project Sunstreak's legacy is intertwined with the broader debate surrounding the existence of psychic phenomena. Proponents of parapsychology often cite the program as evidence that the government took psychic abilities seriously, arguing that the program's classified nature prevents the full disclosure of its successes. They point to the anecdotal accounts of remote viewers and the results of some experiments as evidence that further research is warranted. Critics, however, maintain that Project Sunstreak serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of pseudoscience and the government's willingness to invest in unproven methods. They argue that the program's legacy is one of wasted resources, misplaced trust, and the erosion of public trust in scientific inquiry. Regardless of one's stance on the validity of remote viewing, Project Sunstreak's influence on popular culture is undeniable. The program has been featured in numerous books, documentaries, and fictional works, often portrayed as a shadowy government operation exploring the fringes of human consciousness. This portrayal has contributed to the mystique surrounding the program and fueled speculation about the true nature of its activities. In conclusion, Project Sunstreak stands as a testament to the human desire to explore the unknown and the lengths to which governments will go in pursuit of an advantage in the shadowy world of espionage. While the program's scientific merit remains a subject of debate, its legacy continues to shape public perception of psychic phenomena and inspire both wonder and skepticism.